Yo, what is going on, guys? So we've got a video here today titled "She Demands Men Accept Paternity Fraud, but She Gets Humbled Instead." So we've been seeing a lot of these court cases and things recently where women are trying to extort money out of their ex-husband, their ex-boyfriend, and things like this, only for the man to find out that the kid wasn't even his to begin with. So let's jump right in. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments.
Mr. Pace, how did you find out that she slept with your best friend?
Well, that's interesting. We were actually in a heated argument at the time that it occurred, but it kind of just got blurted out to me that Mr. Randolph could be a potential father for Prince.
Wait a minute. So you're in a heated argument as a couple, and just out of the blue she yells, and by the way, your best friend could be Prince's father?
Correct. It was very emotional for me, being that it's my best friend and this is my woman.
Understandably.
Upon meeting with him, we kind of all agreed, me and him agreed, that we definitely needed to find out what was going on.
You know what's funny about these situations, man? I really think that this whole thing could and should be saved if DNA testing at birth was just mandatory, okay? I think that there is an absolutely terrifying amount of women out here these days who have claimed to have a kid from one man, but in reality, the father is somebody completely different. In this guy's case, it is quite literally his best friend, which is absolutely insane to me. But the fact that it even gets to this point is so insane when we have the ability to DNA test. You know, I think a lot of these governments don't want to DNA test because I think that they understand men would kind of turn the other way and start leaving women more than they already are if the actual statistics were released at all times to the public. I mentioned this in a previous episode. I believe France doesn't even show their statistics for this particular reason. But the fact of the matter is, I don't know why, man, you would not have this be absolutely mandatory. I think it should be mandatory.
I want him to be able to understand that, and I am woman enough to admit that I made that mistake, and I want us to go forward from this situation regardless of the results, regardless of, even though in my heart I hope that it does show that he's the father, I just want us to still be able to be a family as we are.
Mr. Pace.
What do you mean? Number one, this woman says she's woman enough to admit her mistakes. That's crazy. You cheated on him, okay? You lied to him. You've committed paternity fraud, which, by the way, lock these women up. I don't understand how these women are able to walk away without punishment when they commit paternity fraud. But again, hey, crazy how the government doesn't seem to care about certain things. That's number one. And then she wants them to go on and live happily ever after as a family unit. This is not how this works, man, okay? If you're a dude and you've been through a situation like this and you choose to take the woman back, you are absolutely out of your damn mind. Let me just say that. These women ruin their families. They break them before the family even starts properly. And then they want to say, well, I just want the family unit to continue. No, you broke the family unit. I'm not continuing to look after you and be in a relationship with you after you do this.
Show that he's the father. I just want us to still be able to be a family as we are.
Mr. Pace, you are not his father.
Oh, man.
Why is the woman crying? This is the woman, right, who cheated on him with the friend, and she's coming over here. You know, what is going on, man? Did she just wipe her own eyes? Let's have a look.
Oh, man.
What is she sniffling about, bro?
Continuing on with the next result. It has also been determined by this court, Mr. Randolph, you are not.
Yes, you dab those imaginary tears, you absolute queen. So let me get this straight. Not only was the kid not the original dude's, right? He wasn't the father. The original man was not the father. But not only that, the second man wasn't even the father. So that means that this woman is screwing around with Lord knows how many different men at the same time, essentially, within the same few months. And again, guys, this is just point in case why a lot of men don't want to get married. They don't want to have relationships with these women, and they're opting out. Craziness.
She said she was womanly enough to admit her mistake, but not womanly enough to know who the father of her own kid is, and seriously expected him to accept what she did and move on from it, like nothing happened.
I don't want a man who's only going to judge me based on my size.
Look, you just called him short. We don't want a woman that's only gonna base us based off our height. I'm 6'4", he's 5'8". But you said that he's disqualified because he's 5'8".
I didn't judge his character.
But okay, but you judge his height and he doesn't qualify for you.
Okay, but that's not saying.
And we're saying, but look, time out. The same way he doesn't qualify for you, with your figure, a lot of guys you won't qualify for.
Why is she crying, guys? The funny part about these situations is like, when these women get hit with reality, which by the way, they get hit with reality so few times throughout their entire life, you just, bring on the tears and it's oh so upsetting. And then of course you'll hear insults directed towards the hosts. Oh, well, you don't like women. So let's think about this for a second. This woman right here, who is a rather large woman, let me full screen this for you. Rather large individual, disqualified a man not a moment ago because he was too short, apparently. Mind you, the man was 5'8", apparently. Okay, which is, I think that's above average. Isn't like 5'7" the average for men? I'm not quite sure. But in any case, she calls, she says she doesn't want him because of his height. But now she will cry when that same man doesn't want her because of her weight. Now, thinking about this for a second, guys, using critical thinking for 0.1 seconds here, you can actually change your body weight. Men can't change their height unless they want to go get some ridiculous surgery done. Okay, that is no. Like, you can change your weight. You can simply go to the gym. You can do cardio. Hell, you don't even need to go to the gym. You can just eat less damn food, go in a caloric deficit, and you will be fine. You will lose weight. But no, we bust out the tears because men won't date me. When men hold me to some sort of standard, it's a problem. But I can hold men to whatever standard I want. Absolutely insane. People who do this are just so disgusting to me, guys, because they take no self-accountability at all, but they expect everybody else to change according to what they want, right? You don't fit this criteria for me, but I will never change for you, even though I can and you can't. Terrible.
But look, time out. The same way he doesn't qualify for you, with your figure, a lot of guys you won't qualify for.
Like, why is she crying?
They forgot that it is only okay when she does it. But if they do it back, that's unacceptable.
I left my 28-year marriage because there was a Porsche in my driveway. When I asked him whose it was, he said it was his and that he'd been thinking about it and researching it for a while. And he added, "Isn't it a beauty?" I couldn't believe that he'd been actively thinking about getting this expensive car that he didn't need, and then got the car and never mentioned it to me. No matter how hard I tried, he could not understand that I was upset that he completely left me out of this entire Porsche episode.
Well, was it your money that he bought the Porsche with, or was it his money? Because if it's his, then shut the hell up. I don't want to hear it, man. It's weird how men's money is oftentimes thought as by the women that they're in relationships with as their money. A dude can go out here, he can make enough money for a Porsche, which, by the way, shout out to this guy. Good job on getting your Porsche, He goes out there, he's excited, he buys his Porsche, and then the woman's like, wait a minute, you didn't consult me with how you chose to spend what is, in all likelihood, your money? It's insane, man. It's absolutely insane. And so what? Did she divorce him because he went and bought a car? Is that what this is about? Isn't that what she said at the beginning? I divorced him? Let's take a listen.
I left my 28-year marriage because there...
Yeah, so she left a 28-year marriage because the dude bought a Porsche, and I'm going to assume, I'm not 100% sure, but it sounds to me like it's his money. The entitlement is crazy.
Was a Porsche in my driveway.
Your driveway. Did you pay for the house? Are you paying for the house? I would probably bet no.
When I asked him whose it was, he said it was his and that he'd been thinking about it and researching it for a while. And he added, "Isn't it a beauty?" I couldn't believe that he'd been actively thinking about getting this expensive car that he didn't need, and then got the car and never mentioned it to me. No matter how hard I tried, he could not understand that I was upset that he'd completely left me out of this entire Porsche episode.
Yeah, I mean, I'd leave you out as well, to be honest with you. You're annoying. So she dropped her 28-year marriage because the dude bought a car with what was in all likelihood his money. And you're mad about it because you felt left out of him choosing to buy the Porsche? No. Like, guys, again, so many of these women, it's like they're not even wives, guys. They just drop a marriage because they feel like it. Any sort of reason, any sort of excuse to leave. Oh, I'm going to leave him. And she probably thought that after all this time, well, he's got money for the Porsche. I can probably take him for some money as well. So are men only allowed to buy things that they need, by the way? I'm so confused. If I go out there and I get enough money for a Porsche and I really want the Porsche, I have to not spend it on a Porsche because I don't need a Porsche? I mean, let's apply this logic to women, guys. You don't see those earrings right there that you probably bought? You didn't need those. You know, you could have got cheaper glasses. You don't really need those glasses. That makeup that you're putting on, yeah, you don't really need that either, but you still went and bought that. So, no, you don't get to pull this card.
He was functioning like a single person. He got really angry and said that I was car shaming him and that he did not need to ask my permission.
Facts.
He was behaving exactly like a narcissist.
Yeah, so this woman has been watching too much TikTok. I can tell you that right now. The reason why she threw away her 28-year marriage is because she probably saw one too many TikToks of these empowering women online saying, hey, are you dating a narcissist? Are you married to a narcissist? And so she decided to drop her 28-year marriage because she, guys, was obviously married to a narcissist. This is what I'm saying, man. Women will get online and they will give each other the most awful advice of all time. And then they'll encourage each other to ruin each other's relationships. And then they end up crying and complaining later because oftentimes they can't get money out of the guy, or they realize that they screwed up and they want the man back, and the man just says, no, you left because you wanted to, so leave, you're not coming back. But apparently she was dating a narcissist. And no, he doesn't need to ask your permission, especially if it's his money. He can buy whatever the hell he wants, whether or not he needs it or not.
He got really angry and said that I was car shaming him and that he did not need to ask my permission. He was behaving exactly like a narcissist. There's no rational discussion with a narcissist. You can't have any needs or feelings when you're with a narcissist.
Yeah, she's been watching too many TikToks.
And you certainly can't disagree with them. I recognize that it's going to be impossible to have any sort of meaningful connection to a narcissist, so I left the marriage.
What are you talking about? Oh, you'll never be able to have a meaningful connection. And you mean to tell me that you discovered this after 28 years? Guys, this is so insane to me. So you mean to tell me that this woman was with this man for 28 years, and now she's finally discovered that the man's a narcissist and she won't be able to build a connection with him after 28 years of marriage? What is this, guys? You know, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So she left the marriage because the man bought a Porsche with what sounds like his money, and she did it because he's a narcissist apparently, and there was never going to be any connection there after 28 years. You cannot make this stuff up, man. You cannot make it up.
I am so much happier being able to express my feelings and opinions now.
Oh, yes, you must be, because that's what happy people do, right? They get on TikTok and they talk about how happy they are. Wait a minute, follow me for more tips. Is this woman a dating coach? Let's take a listen.
Follow me for tips on how to get out of a bad relationship and move on to lead your best life.
Right, so check this out. She listened to some dating coach, ruined her 28-year marriage, and now the cycle continues. So now she's convincing other women to do the same thing, probably for money as well. That is amazing, guys. The circle of life. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? That's That is so insanely disgusting.
Tips on how to get out of a bad relationship and move on to lead your best life.
That man got a brand new Porsche, and his biggest problem saw itself out the door right after.
Facts.
This is probably the happiest he's been in 28 years. Good for him.
When do you think you're gonna hit your wall realistically?
Oh, like I literally have glowed up every single year. Like
No.
Have you guys noticed that some of my videos have gone missing over here on YouTube? That is because I am slowly moving them over to locals where I can actually host them without the risk of getting in trouble. If you are not aware, many creators are starting to move over to places like locals, Rumble, etc. because YouTube is not really a free speech platform. So if you are interested in supporting the channel and getting access to videos that are no longer available here, make sure that you come and join us over on Locals. The link will be in the video description down below. Supporters get access to their own exclusive videos that are no longer available to the public. So make sure you go to the link in the description and join us over there now. But anyway, guys, back to today's episode.
every month I get hotter, so I don't believe in a wall. I think that's probably like 55.
What do you mean wall?
It's all
Explain to me what
mentality.
you
Like
mean wall.
unfortunately, like when you're hot, you get so much more power. It sucks, but it's the truth.
Power. Ah, yes. Attention from men who want to have bedroom fun with you, and typically nothing else. So guys, you know, what's interesting about these videos here is you will have these women like, yeah, I'm so attractive, I can get any man that I want, okay? And I want you guys to pay attention to the fact that none of these women have relationships, and if they do, those relationships are doomed, by the way, because these women are hitting the club, so they will end, make no mistake about it. But they're like, yeah, I'm so powerful, right? And then they don't really believe in monogamy. They go out, they screw around for a decade, maybe 2 decades, and then what they do when they're done screwing around is these same women will turn around and demand that the men that they're chasing when they're 30, when they're 35, that these men should settle down and commit to them. And if they don't, then, you know, we're just little boys, we're immature, etc., etc. And that's the way it works, okay? They have their fun, and then when they're done and they hit 30 and 35, they're like, wait a minute, why won't men settle down with me? What's the problem? But you are so powerful, madam. You're so empowered right now. How is it that you fail at dating?
Power. It sucks, but it's the truth.
Wall as in fertility window dies down, your looks fade, stuff like that.
Okay, I feel like 37, almost 40. I feel like the stigma is like 30. It's like when girls are supposed to be like, like you have to
as a
settle
woman,
down.
like I don't base my worth on my fertility, so I think that probably like 60, even 70.
One could argue.
Wait. So, you know, guys, me as a man, I don't really place my worth on my ability to provide or anything. You know what my worth is to a woman, guys? It's how well I cook up a mean dish of meatballs, you know? I'm a great cook. She can pay all the bills. She can go out there and work some manual labor job. But the thing that I really bring to the relationship, guys, is I make a fantastic home. You see how the majority of women don't give a damn if I say that? It's like, yeah, my value to the, you know, my value as a woman, it's not determined by something like fertility or how attractive I am or my youth or my femininity or anything like that. It's actually linked to how good of a job position I have, for example. It's like, okay, try telling that to men when you're 40. No, seriously, go out there and try when you're 40 years of age, do what every other woman does and sit there and go, well, I don't understand why I don't have a man. I have a fantastic career. Why aren't men valuing me? It's because you don't understand why men value you in the first place. You know, you can sit there and you can say, well, men should value me because of my career and my confidence. But that's not how the world works. I can sit here and I should go, you know, well, women should value me for my cooking skills and my ability to give birth to a child. It's like, no, that's not how this works, okay? Or not give birth to a child, sorry, but look after a child, maybe clean the home, things like this. you know, traditionally feminine things. Switch it around and you realize how stupid this crap sounds.
I think that probably like 60, even 70.
One could argue that a woman's most prized possession is her ability to reproduce, though.
Because I have a successful job.
There it is, guys. What did I say? Well, I have a successful job and a successful business, so, you know, that makes me super valuable. And don't get it twisted, guys. We're talking about in terms of dating, right? In terms of relationships of the dating marketplace, as it were. They haven't explicitly said that, but quite obviously that is what we are talking about here. So she thinks that, well, I'm successful. I've got my business, I've got a career, which mind you guys, I don't believe this woman at all. Every single one of these women that says, hey, listen, I've got a fantastic career and business, typically they don't. Typically it's not making money at all. But you know, they say this, or it's like an OF account or something like this, right? But here's the thing. Men don't care about your business or your finances. You care about a man's business and finances. We do not care about yours. But let's run it back. I knew she was going to say that, man.
Work on my fertility, so I think that probably like 60, even 70.
One could argue that a woman's most prized possession is her ability to reproduce, though.
Because I have a successful job in the business.
Listen to this one on the left side, right? Saying that's BS. That's not true at all. We're not prized for our ability to have children whatsoever. Okay, again, go and try and find a man to settle down with when you're 40 and you can't have children. Do it. We'll check back with you when you're in your 40s.
Business intelligence industry, and I make my own money, and my happiness doesn't stem from having children.
They say that now, but as we have seen on my channel time and time again, they always end up regretting it and wish they could go back and have kids.
If you are broke, you should not be dating.
Okay, I wonder if that applies to women as well as men.
I'm not saying if you're broke, you're not worthy of love and happiness.
Well, that's good, because that would be a very classist mentality.
You're just not worthy of me.
No, so this is a pay-to-play kind of thing, is it?
Just kidding. You need to focus on yourself. Broke guys are usually the most insecure guys on the planet. I swear to God.
Right, so let me get this straight. I have to go out there and I have to make money so that I have the privilege of getting in a relationship, wait for it, with you. That's what's being proposed to me here? Oh, hell no. You see, this is what, if you present this problem to men, right? Let's just say you go to men and you say, hey, listen, you can have a girlfriend like this if you work really hard and get your money up. The men are going to look at the girlfriends that are being offered, which, by the way, are awful people, and they're going to be like, why would I work really hard for that? Tell me. And also, by the way, these women who are saying that you have to make a lot of money in order to be with them, you have to go out there and get your finances right. You really think they're not hooking up with dudes who are broke? That's what she literally says right here in this clip. I'm going to play it back so you can hear this, because you've really got to understand this, guys. She says the men who are broke are insecure, but I guarantee you she still ended up in a lot of dudes' beds who are attractive but maybe had no money, because they don't care about money when it's short-term fun. They don't care about a dude's finances when they're hooking up with some dude on Tinder or Instagram.
You need to focus on yourself. Broke guys are usually the most insecure guys on the planet. I swear to God.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'm pretty sure they're very happy and secure in the fact that they don't have to worry about dating someone who's only after their money.
It's not necessarily their fault.
Oh?
Because as a society, we have prided men and we have made their self-worth contingent on how much money they make or their profession.
As a society, is it? Well then, it seems like some women are doing a great job of perpetuating that.
The broke men, they walk around with a chip on their shoulder.
Is anyone else wondering what they actually consider to be broke?
If you don't like your circumstances, try to do something about it. Don't be mad at everyone else. Especially not me. What the fuck? What did I do?
Well, one is perpetuating the idea that men aren't worth dating unless they make a certain amount of money every year, which is really no different than men saying that they won't date a woman unless she looks a certain way. But yet, lots of women find reasons to get mad at that.
There's one thing
I've got to say, before we continue on to the next clip, man, these women, they're like, you know, those like speed typers that are in courtrooms and things like this. You know, you guys know those people that sit on there on like computers and stuff, and they write down the entire transcript of the courtroom as it plays out, so that the court has documentation as to what is going on. These women remind me of the same thing. They just blah 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 blah, yap yap yap, and they just keep typing away. They just keep saying a whole bunch of nonsense. And right, every single sentence that comes out of this woman's mouth can be totally disagreed with. Except there was one in there that I actually agree with. She says, like, you know, if you don't like your circumstances, you can go, you know, you should go out there and try and change them. That's pretty much the only thing out of everything she just yapped about that I agree with. But guys, these women, it's like, if you were to have a relationship with this woman, I'm pretty sure I would just go mentally insane. You would probably find me in some sort of asylum if I was forced to listen to this stuff. If I couldn't leave this woman, if I couldn't go outside and I just had to listen to this all day, I would lose my marbles, guys. And this is why these women are single, is because men will talk with women like this only for as much time as required as to have bedroom fun with them, and then they just leave them afterwards. And these are the women who are like, well, why do men keep leaving me? I'm strong and successful. And you've just got to sit there and face palm. You really do. But let's continue on to the next clip.
You got to admit that women are really good at, it's making everything about themselves. And that includes Father's Day, or as I usually refer to it, National Custodial Interference Day, because so many men are denied access to their children by vindictive mothers on that day. Now, we all know there's going to be a host of single mothers putting up posts praising themselves for being dad and all that other stuff. But then there's also this.
So many women are let down by Mother's Day every single year, and I just want to give you permission. If you were one of those women who was let down on Mother's Day, match his energy. If he showed up with nothing, no card, no flowers, no gift, nothing, you show up with nothing.
As I said, they always make it about them. Here she's telling women to match his energy and give him the equivalent on Father's Day that she got on Mother's Day. But it begs the question, what did she do the prior Father's Day? You see, she's not going to talk about how she completely ignored him then. She's not going to talk about how in the years since then, she's done nothing but bitch and complain at him, never acknowledging or appreciating a damn thing he's ever done. Let's forget Father's Day.
Yeah, that's a good point, right? Is we don't talk about all of the stuff that happens in between. Okay, because let's not get it twisted here. A lot of these guys who are in modern day relationships, they're not appreciated, particularly the fathers. You know, they go out there, they pay the bills, they try and make everything work, they try and keep the family functioning, the household functioning, roof over their heads, all the problems fixed and things like this. And a lot of this stuff women don't see or care about. You know, the guy will go out there, he'll break his body mowing the lawn, right? He'll go out there, he'll clean the gutters, he'll work X amount of hours, he will pay the bills, he'll fix all of the issues that happen in the house. If there's a spider, he'll handle the spider. You know what I'm saying? And then we don't talk about any of this day-to-day stuff, and we don't really appreciate any of these things. And then it's like, of course things wind up the way they are. And a lot of the times in these relationships, men are just not appreciated at all. They just really aren't. And then you have women like this who try and add fuel to the fire. They jump on TikTok and they go, well, give him nothing for Father's Day or match his energy. Like, we're not going to talk about everything in between, are we?
Finding women who will acknowledge that that is indeed the case, that they have never shown any appreciation. Because to a woman, they will all claim they have, when the reality is they haven't. Because as we all know, no matter how hard a man tries, no matter how much a father does, women will always say it's nothing more than the bare minimum.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with this guy, right? If you were to sit down and have a discussion with these men who are in relationships with these women and ask them how appreciated they feel, or how often the woman shows appreciation, I guarantee you it would be very little, if at all. But guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.